Hi, everybody. I think that most of you are familiar with who I am. My name is Mandy, and I am Pastor Nate's sister in law. I just wanted to take a quick minute just to share with you guys exactly what God has been doing in my life these last couple weeks. So, as most of you probably know, one thing that I struggle big with is anxiety and sometimes depression. Um, I've struggled with it for really my entire life, especially with the anxiety. I've struggled with it my entire life. Really intensified in 2010 when I went through a time of a lot of loss, and for the last 10 years had really struggled a lot daily with it. Um, I feel like recently had started getting to the point where it was a lot better. I begged God for those 10 years to take it away. Not that I feel like it's been taken away completely, but I definitely feel like God has helped me to know how to cope with it better. But when all of this started with the coronavirus, I thought, oh, great, here we go again. Just when I start feeling better, I feel like I'm finally I'm getting a little bit of control over my anxiety. Something like this is typically a huge trigger for me. When it involves my family, my kids, something that I can't protect them from. Not that I have control anyway, but I feel like I have even less control right now than normal. That's typically a huge trigger for me. And so when all this started, I'm thinking, oh man, come on. This was just starting to get better, and here we go again. But I thought, okay, I need something. I need to get into the Word. I've grown up a pastor's daughter. I literally was at church the day I was born. Um, my mom had me at home, and literally that evening, my grandma took me to church. So that's all I've known. But my devotional time was more so. That sounds terrible, but a lot of times it was more so out of obligation because I knew that that's what the good Christian should do. So I've always read my Bible. I've always done devotion time, but I thought, okay, I need something deeper than this. I don't want to go into this dark hole again. I need something more in depth. So I found this book by Beth Moore, which is she's one of my favorites, and it is the obviously the study of Paul. It's 90 days about his life. Now I'm obviously not that far into it, but there is a section in there that is all about at the end of the day, there's a section to write out your prayers. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use that section to write out my thoughts of how I'm feeling about the coronavirus and the crisis that we're living right now. So as I was thinking the other day, the first part when I first started it, it was, oh God, this virus is around. I know that it's getting closer. Just protect us. Fast forward to just on April 5th, I believe it was. And I'm begging God to take this virus. God, I even said in my prayer, God, I'm terrified. They're giving these numbers. They're saying we could lose 100 to 240,000 people within a short amount of time. God, I'm terrified right now. I don't know. I don't even know how to wrap my brain around that many people. Take it, God. Please heal our world. Please, please, please. It was just literally my entire prayer was begging God to heal the entire world, not just our country, our world, because there's so many people that we're losing every day. And then I started thinking about it more, and I thought, you know what? We lose an insane amount of people every day. The last I heard, it was one person every 30 seconds dies. And on a normal day, I'm not taking time. I don't feel as sad, as bad as that sounds. I don't feel as sad about the all of the people that we lose every single day. But because it's associated with the virus and you're hearing it, you think, "Oh man, that's an insane number." And it is. It's still devastating. However, just 2 nights ago, I was reading through. So April 5th, it was begging God to take this and to heal and to do something huge that only he could do. And then on April 10th, it hit me that my prayer time had gone from begging God to take it to thanking God for all the ways that I could see him working. I could see that he was taking this virus and was doing something. We went from 100 to 240,000 people to over a couple of days, it was lowered to 60,000 people. They said that this past week would be the worst week of the most deaths that we would see. And it was nowhere near the number that they were saying, even at 60,000, it was nowhere near the number that they were saying we were going to see. Every loss is tragic. I'm not trying to take that away. One life is too many. However, I feel like it's 100% God that is taking this. People are crying out to him. They're begging him to take it. And I feel in my heart that it's God. It's God taking that, and he's doing something amazing. So I just wanted to read a couple of scriptures to you. And this is, Psalms are my favorite. I find it very encouraging. One of the nights whenever we did our time of fasting and prayer, one of the things that I did was I took my Bible and I looked up in the back all of the scriptures about fear, and I looked those up. And then I looked up the scriptures about hope. And I honestly spent a lot of time reading in Psalms because I just love them. So Psalm 130 verse 5 says, I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I hope. So that, I feel like that was kind of my theme in the beginning. And don't get me wrong, I'm still nervous. I want this to be done. I want to be able to see my family. I want to be able to be back at church again. But then I flipped to, it's in Psalm 4 verse 8. And that one says, in peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. And I'm kind of to the point now to where I know God has this under control. God is so much bigger than this virus. God is so much bigger than anything that this world could ever do to us. Ultimately, even if the worst happens, God has us. As a believer, I know that my hope is in him. This has been I feel like a great time for me to realize how little control I do have. I can do my very best to protect my babies, but I can't protect them from everything. But I serve a God who can. I serve a God who can take care of them in ways that I cannot. He loves them more than I could ever love them, which is hard for me to wrap my mind around. But I serve a God who, even if he doesn't clear this virus out, which I'm still praying for that. I'm still praying for that miracle that he just takes it all. But I serve a God who loves us so greatly that he's taking care of us. Regardless of how he chooses to do that, he's taking care of us. And I am to the point now to where I'm thinking, I'm living in the hope of God's got this. God knows what he's doing way more than I do, way more than these doctors who have studied this for years. God knows more than what we could ever know as a human. And I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick because God's doing amazing things for me. I'm typically, with something like this, would be completely crippled with my fear and my anxiety. God has given me such a peace, especially in these last 2 weeks, that I just can't even explain. I'm not able to even be very rational with this kind of stuff because I'm so afraid. And that's not something that I've really dealt with. There's been times, I've certainly had my moments where I have, but as a whole, I really haven't dealt with that during this time. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're trying to stay as safe as possible. But I know that God is protecting my family, and I know that God loves my family. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I pray that, I know there's a lot of us that do struggle with anxiety anyway. Right now, I feel like there's even more struggling with it because of the circumstances that are going on around us out of our control. So I hope that this can be an encouragement to you that even though we can't control it, we have a God that can. I miss you guys, and I can't wait to see you.